Hello and welcome to this episode of the Make More Placement podcast. Today we're going to be covering three things to focus on to increase or double your recruitment or search business revenue over the next 12 months. That's three things to focus on to double your recruitment revenue over the next 12 months. If you're listening to this via our Facebook, via the Make More Placements Facebook community, if you're listening live, write live in the comments just so we know you're tuning in. And if you're watching the replay, write the word replay in the comments as well so we know you're tuning in. Also, it will help us get this message out to more people as well. If you listen to this anywhere else, so either on Spotify, iTunes, wherever, YouTube, remember to like and subscribe to be notified with brand new episodes as well. But yeah, let's dive right in. David, I'm covering three things to focus on to double your recruitment or search business revenue. If you are a recruitment or search business owner and you find this episode useful, if you head over to makemoreplacements.com/clients now, that's makemoreplacements.com/clients now. There's a short video there that explains a bit more about our services and how we may be able to help you grow your recruitment business. If you go to that, if you're interested, book a call with us. We'll walk you through how our services work. And if it's something that interests you, great. If not, that's fine as well. But that's makemoreplacements.com/clients now. Perfect. So look, let's dive right in. Terry, first of all, I'm going to come to you first, right? We're going to be looking at three ways to double your recruitment and search business revenue. Before we sort of get into the mechanics of what those three things are and how they work and why they're important, why we decided to cover this session today?
Well, there's a number of reasons. I guess probably 80% of the, we speak to recruitment and search business owners every day of the week, and I'd say probably 80% of recruiters want to grow their business. That's a common theme. They want to grow their business. So that's the main reason. I think the other one is that what we're going to share with you at some level, intellectually, you already know what it is, as you see in a moment. And often then recruiters say, well, that's nothing new. Or as one guy said to me, it's very English saying, well, you're stating the bleeding obvious. But here's the thing about what we're going to share with you. It's not what you know. It's not about what's new. It's about what you do. See, there's lots of things that we know, but the fact is only about 20%, the most successful 20% are doing these things. Then most of us know we should probably have a Mediterranean diet if we want to have a healthy life. Most of us don't. Most of us know that we should exercise 3 or 4 times a week. Most of us don't do that. So I want to be absolutely clear about it. Although it's stating the obvious, and it is obvious, most of us aren't doing it. So it's also like a gentle reminder of these three things that you can do that are guaranteed to double your sales when you implement them into your business.
Yeah, 100%. And again, Terry, I agree 100%. I think because the three things we're going to go over are so obvious to some people, I think that's why they get overlooked often. And it's very rare that I speak to a recruitment or search business owner, no matter how experienced they are actually, where they are actively focusing on these three things simultaneously. And that's where it's not just knowing the three things. I think everyone will know the three things. It's the magic comes from focusing on them simultaneously and then watching the impact have on your business. I think we're going to sort of break this podcast down into 2 parts, right? First, we're going to sort of cover what the three things are, why they're important, and then we're going to be looking at some of the mechanics or some of the benefits that can have when you focus on them simultaneously. Terry, does that make sense?
Perfect sense. Let's get going then.
Awesome. So look, let's dive right in. So number one of the three ways is to increase the number of clients you have, right? So more clients you have in your business over the next 12 months, the more your revenue will increase. Again, Terry, do you want to sort of dive in a bit more on that as to why that's important?
Yeah. So again, this is a classic example where people, of course, have had more clients to get more business, but as Drew rightly said, it's not the knowing, it's the doing. So you know that you get more clients, and the challenge sometimes is not knowing how to get more new clients. You see, most recruitment and search business owners that we speak to, they get their business through probably 3 ways: networking, word of mouth, maybe a bit of cold calling, but networking and word of mouth seem to be the main ways of getting business. And there's a couple of challenges with that. It's somewhat limited in terms of those methods. So let's look at networking. Every single recruiter, no matter how big your network is, eventually you're going to run out. Your network's going to dry up. Word of mouth, if you're relying on word of mouth, you've got no control over it. So you're going to get business if somebody mentions you to somebody else. But if they don't mention you, you're not going to get the business, and you've got no control over that whatsoever. By the way, you can pick up the phone and do some cold calling. I want to be clear: cold calling does work, but again, logic dictates and experience tells you that cold calling can be extremely hard work. But they're the only methods that most recruiters use. But the fact is, there are numerous other methods you can use, excluding those three, they're almost guaranteed to ensure that you can get more new clients. But here's a big thing about this. Most recruiters have never been shown the other way. So I want to be clear about it. If you don't know, it's not your fault. How on earth are you meant to know if you've never been shown how to do it? So although we said at the beginning, this is kind of stating the obvious, of course you need to get new clients. But the majority of recruiters that we speak to on a regular basis do not know how to get new clients on a regular and consistent basis. They can get the ad hoc, and anybody can do that, and that's more through luck than anything else. But having a process in place that every month you can acquire new clients, because the moment you get that, that's going to transform your business. That alone, never mind anything else. Anything to add to that, Drew?
Yeah, I think just on this, I think, again, like we said right at the beginning, I think it's obvious to anyone if you get more clients in your business and your revenue will grow, right? All things being equal. But I think, one of the things I see, particularly in the recruitment industry, is that a lot of business owners have a very passive approach to business development and client attraction, right? They do it day to day because they know it needs to be done. But very rare that you see people actively looking for ways to get better at it, right? It's few and far between that I speak to a recruitment or search business owner and they go to, like, they're making an effort to master the art of client attraction, right? Everyone does it because they know they need to do it, but it's about, if you want to really grow your business to the level you want it to be, it's something you need to master. Every day, every week, every month, what can I do to get better at attracting more and new clients into the business rather than, relying on the clients that I've got and spending all my time, energy, and effort on delivery? What can I do to bring and attract new clients into the business? Terry, does that make sense?
Yeah, and just to add to that, what we've found is the most successful recruiters, they tend to be on top of this because they acknowledge that, acquiring sales and marketing is the lifeblood of your business. So we know some very poor recruiters, and perhaps in terms of what they offer, and they're probably not as good as you as you're listening to this, but they're more successful than you because the thing that they do master is sales and marketing. So they've got a process in place. So they're always bringing in new clients. If you can do that, you're literally unstoppable. You can bring in clients as and when you want, and not only new clients, but we're going to go on to the next thing because the next thing is higher fees. So number one is more clients, but if you can bring on more clients and then bring them in at a better fee than you're charging now, that's going to have a dramatic impact on your business. And again, you're going to say, yes, I kind of know that if I can get higher fees and, let's say you're a perm recruiter and let's say you're charging 18% right now. And if I could get that to 22, that would have a dramatic impact. And it would, because that additional income that you're taking for each of those fees, that's going to the bottom line. There's no additional costs anywhere, but it's gonna add to the bottom line. It's adding to the bottom line. Ultimately, for you as the owner or the director of the business, it means more money in your bank account at the end of the day if you can do that. Now, before you then say, yeah, but my market is different and my market buy on price alone, and I can't get higher fees because my client, that's nonsense. Because I can guarantee now, whatever fee that you're charging right now, that there are recruiters out there that are charging higher fees and getting the business. And I'm sure there are recruiters out there that are charging less than you and getting the business. But let's look at that. If they're charging less than you, they haven't got your business. So it kind of sets you at some level, your hiring managers aren't buying on price and price alone. I've met recruiters, I've spoken to recruiters that charge 7%. I've also spoken to other recruiters to say, quite frankly, Terry, if it's below 22%, I'm walking away. We've all got our price. But the guys that are charging 22% are getting business, the guys that are charging 7% are getting business. But what you know is if you're getting only 7%, comparison to the guys that are getting 22%, you've got to make us 3 times as many placements to generate the same amount of revenue. And I think it's worth mentioning at this point that as a recruitment business owner, you're not here to serve every single client that you meet. So sure, there's some clients out there that say, well, unless you can beat this price of 7%, you're not going to get the business. Fine. You're not obliged to work with them or even try to work with them. Walk away. You don't have to. It is your choice. So that's a really key point there. But the key thing here is that the higher the fees you get, obviously, the better your sales figures will be, and the better your profits are going to be. What else would you add to that, Drew?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think, again, it's not like we're saying something brand new, right? You would know intellectually that if you could charge higher fees, then you would obviously make more money. I think the point to this though is that, again, same with like client attraction, it's probably even rarer that you see a recruiter making a concerted effort to win higher fees, right? They you probably look at the fee you charge right now, right? So look at the fee you charge right now in your business. When was the last time you had a fee increase? When was the last time you looked for ways to move up the food chain and work on high salary roles, right? So again, same with more clients, higher fees is going to be an obvious way it's going to grow your business, but it's about, going forward over the next 12 months as we're coming into the new year, what are you doing? What are you actively doing in your business, in your sales process, and your marketing to make it easier for you to win higher fees? Terry, does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, so it's all about having a process that you can win higher fees. More clients at higher fees is going to transform your business. This will demonstrate very shortly. So number three is so number one. Let's recap. Number one is getting more clients. Number two is getting higher fees, and number three is when you get those clients, getting that client to engage with you on a more frequent basis. So if you're getting one client every quarter, let's say, and they engage with you once, so you get one assignment from them over a 12-month period. If you had a process in place so that one client, or when you got a client, it was rather than a one-off, they give you one assignment, they gave you several assignments over a number of years. Again, that would transform your business. Drew, anything to add to that in terms of getting more placements from your existing clients?
Yeah, it's again, it's a sort of stating the obvious, but if you look at your clients right now, and again, how you do this would depend on whether you're contract temp or contingency or retained, right? But if you can make more placements per client, so that even means like getting more repeat business if you're retained, especially getting more repeat business for each client that you win over the course of 12 months, or it could mean that if you contingency, especially, it doesn't necessarily mean getting repeat business, but it means increasing your fill rate. Right. So if right now you're a contingency recruiter and for every 10 job orders that you win, you're only filling one of them or two of them or even three of them. If we can increase that to 4, 5, 6, we're not actually winning more clients, we're just increasing our fill rate, but that obviously will double your revenue, right? From going to 3 out of 10 job orders, 3 placements out of 10 job orders to 6 out of 10 job orders, you're going to double your revenue without actually doing any extra work, right? So it's more placements per client. If you're retained, obviously, it's not going to be about the fill rate necessarily because your fill rate is probably already high, but it's going to be about winning more repeat business of that, each client that you bring in, right? It's going to be, it's two different ways of looking at it, but both are going to have an impact on your business. Terry, anything you'd add to that?
Yeah, I think the key thing, the big takeaway from all of this is it's all about raising your standards. Because if you said, actually, I'm going to raise my standards now, and rather than just relying on word of mouth to get business, I'm going to be proactive getting business. If I'm going to raise my standards and go for higher fees, if you then say, well, actually, my fill rate at the moment, and let's say you fill 50%, you work contingent and you fill 50% of the roles. Again, if you get that to 60% of the roles that you're filling, that would transform your business. Just that slight increase would be transformational for the majority of businesses. The average contingent recruiter fills between 25 and maybe 40% of the roles they work on. Hell, we've even spoken to recruiters whose fill rate is as low as what one recruiter I spoke to recently was 7%. So if most of the time you're working, what's happening there? It means that most of the time you're paying your consultants to fill these roles. They're never going to fill. You're not generating income. So again, all that can transform your business. So there are three key things: more clients, higher fees, and then when you get those clients, making more placements with those existing clients. So Drew, let's go on to and demonstrate the kind of financial impact that would have on a recruitment or search business if they were to implement those three things.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So look, let's imagine that and again, these numbers will translate to no matter where you are in business, no matter what size you are, whether you're a new startup business or you're an established business, the math still makes the same sense, right? So let's imagine though this for
Can I just interject in and say, as you listen to this, it may be worth getting a pen and making a note of these numbers as we go through them. So please grab yourself a pen and a piece of paper or do it on your computer so you can see it for yourself, and maybe a calculator as well.
Sure.
Back to you, Drew.
Let's imagine that there's a recruitment business out there. Let's imagine I own a recruitment business, right? And over the past 12 months, I've worked with 10 clients. With each of those clients, my average fee for each placement I made was 8K. right? So I've got 10 clients, average fee 8K, and I've made two placements per client on average, right? So that would mean that my total business revenue, and again, it doesn't matter what the currency you're talking about here, but it's 160K, right? So 10 clients, two placements per client, 8K fee per placement, right? That's 160K. Terry, first of all, does that make sense, first of all?
Perfect sense, yeah.
Yep. So and let's say, look, we listen to this podcast, and I want to now make a concerted effort to focus on these three areas rather than just passively. And over the next 12 months, I work really hard, and I now have, rather than 10 clients, I work with 11 clients. So it's just a 10% increase. Rather than making two placements per client, is 2.2. So again, 10% increase, not difficult to do. And rather than my average fee being 8K, it's 8,800, right? So again, a 10% increase across the board, right? That would take my total business revenue, all things being equal, to 212,960, right? So again, doesn't matter what currency we're talking about here, the numbers still add up. So just by increasing each of those areas by just 10%, of increasing my revenue by around 30%, right? And I think the important thing about this is not just the revenue increase. One of the I guess common misconceptions when recruiters think about growing their business, they automatically think about team size and infrastructure, right? So if I'm working with 10 clients and I want to grow my business, most recruiters think, okay, if I want to double my business, I want to increase my business by 30%, I probably need to bring in another consultant, right? But there's no one listening to this right now who couldn't achieve a 10% increase across the board, 10% more clients, 10% increase in the number of placements they make per client, 10% increase in the fee, will give you a 30% revenue increase. You could do that without having to bring in any more consultants, without having to spend more on software, without having to really pay any more out. So the profit increase is going to be substantially higher. Right, Terry, just want to check in. Does that make sense, first of all? And anything you'd add to that?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I think the point you mentioned there is that majority of recruiters, when they think about increasing the revenue, the first school of thought is, let's get some more consultants in. But of course, it's the cost involved there. Whether it's a rookie consultant or a trainee or an experienced individual, there's a cost involved there. And I think one of the other things as well, with bringing in consultants, if you've been around in the industry for long enough now, you know that there is a very good possibility that the consultant you bring in doesn't work out. But you're also taking a bit of a gamble there. So you're going to invest this money in this person, but it may not work out. And what we're saying is, as Drew just demonstrated, Drew rightly said, rather, everybody on this call right now, if they were to make that decision, it is about making the decision, right? I'm going to increase my fees by 10%. I'm going to increase the number of clients I've got, and also the number of placements I could probably do that. But it is about making that decision to do that, and then putting the process in place to ensure that you can achieve it. Because if other people can, and other recruiters have, in all industries, and before you say, well, my market's different or it's different to my country, we have experience of this working in every market, in every country. If they can, why not you?
Awesome. But again, just
take
this a bit further, right? Here's where the numbers get really interesting. Again, when we make a concerted effort to focus on all three simultaneously, right? So let's say rather than just a 10% increase in the number of clients, we go for a 30% increase, right? So we work with 13 clients, right? So rather than 10 clients, it's 13 clients, 30% increase, right? And then rather than us making two placements per client, it's now 2.6. Again, 30% increase, not that heavy going. And then rather than increasing our fee by 10%, we increase our fee by, let's say, 20%, right? So we're now looking at, what's that? 8,000 plus, so taking these months.
9,600.
So 9,600, right? So 13 clients, 2.6 placements per client, 9,600. Again, forget the currency here, per placement, right? That would take our total business revenue to 324,480, right? So we've gone from 160K to over 320K. So we've more than doubled our business revenue just by increasing the clients by 30%, the placements per client by 30%, and the fee by 20%. Again, I don't care where you are in business right now, how big your team is, whether you're a solo recruiter, whether you've got a team of 100, right? It doesn't even matter, right? You can achieve that increase, a 30% increase in clients, a 30% increase in number of placements you make per client, and a 20% increase in fee without having to bring in any more infrastructure, any more team, without having a bigger office, without any additional help or support, right? You can achieve that, right? And you can double your revenue without any of that, which means your profits are going to be substantially increased as well. Again, and that's the real benefit of, again, as fundamental as these three things are, right? They are, right. Again, there's no one listening to this who would be shocked to hear that, oh, if I get more clients, it will increase my revenue, or if I make more placements, it will increase my revenue, or if I charge higher fee. Like, you won't be shocked to hear any of the things we said. What you may be shocked by, or maybe your first time really realizing, is the power of when you focus on all three simultaneously. You can double your revenue without any additional without really any additional outgoings. Terry, to check in, does that make sense? Anything you'd add to that?
Yeah, and those numbers are pretty impressive, aren't they? You're literally, doubling up just like that. And as you said, that's increased. That's going to have a massive impact on your profit, a positive impact on your profit, and that's going to have an extremely positive impact on your personal earnings, and that's going to have a really positive impact on you on the personal level, and on your family as well. And ultimately, the majority of recruitment and search business owners I talk to, their reason why they're doing all this is for the family. And you have a choice in this. You can do this for your family. But I want to repeat, it's not about the knowing, it's about making the decision and then doing the doing. Because that's the only way you're going to get these results, if you do think about it. And I get that you may be sitting there saying, well, that's kind of easier said than done. And I get that, and I don't know how to do it. And I totally understand that. But look, if you want some help on that and exactly what to do, please go to makemoreplacements.com/clients now. That's makemoreplacements.com/clients now. There's a quick video there. Have a look at the video. And if you want to double your revenue and profits over the next 12 months, go there. And even if you're thinking, well, my market's different, I'm not doing all of it, I get that. But if you want to, rather than saying if you want to double it, if you just want to increase it, if you're saying, well, I'm doing okay now, if you're saying I'm doing okay now and I don't want any more, great. Very rare that somebody says that. I'm doing okay now. What if I was to raise my standards and actually do even better? What impact would this have on my family? What impact would this, have perhaps on my pension, and the pleasure and the joy I can bring to my family? But nothing will happen until you make that decision. So please go to that website now. Have a look at the video and jump on the call with one of our team. There's no cost for the call. There's no obligation. I guarantee you'll walk away with even more value than you got from today. Anything to add, Drew?
Nothing to add. Again, thank you for tuning in. Remember to share this podcast with anyone you know who may also benefit. We will speak with you again soon. Until then, take care, take action, and be relentless.